So listen, I want you to know that we are being lied to about the US economy. And I want to be clear from the start. So in this video, I'm not going to give you advice. I'm not going to give you suggestions. The purpose of this video is to inform you of the nonsense and the games that are being played. I just want you to be aware of the situation. So this video is going to set the foundation for my future videos that explains why the politicians, why the central bankers are doing what they're doing. And that's going to help you to position yourself to benefit from the situation, or at least not fall behind. Okay, so here's the situation. The Federal Reserve says, word for word, that the US economy is strong, that the labor market is solid, and inflation is on its path to 2%. So I don't want to put words in the Federal Reserve's mouth, so I'm going to take you straight to the source, video clips from the NABE event that occurred just 2 days ago. So this first clip that I want to show you is 31 seconds long.
I do have some brief comments on the economy and monetary policy, and then I look forward to our discussion. Our economy is strong overall and has made significant progress over the past 2 years toward achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices. Labor market conditions are solid, having cooled from their previously overheated state. Inflation has eased, and my FOMC colleagues and I have greater confidence that it is on a sustainable path back to 2%.
Okay, so that is a summary of the situation. You saw it for yourself. Now, I have to show you this video clip. This one really got me. So you know how the government releases data and then they revise it, right? So they just revised the consumer data. According to them, I kid you not, so you're going to see it. Their revised data shows that Americans have been making more money than they previously thought, and that they've been able to save more money than they originally thought. The government revised income levels higher and savings amounts higher. So please take a look.
It has looked as though consumers were spending more than their income. We see disposable personal income now being estimated up, and so that's no longer the case. Again, removing what we've been thinking of as a possible downside risk that the level of consumer spending might be unsustainable. So we look at that, and again, it looks, these were very large, healthy upward revisions to income.
So we had, income was revised upward, spending was revised upward, but income was revised upward so much more so than spending that the savings rate came up.
That's right.
Even with greater spending.
Yeah, the savings rate too. So we think savings are now, there are more savings on people's balance sheet, and the savings rate is higher. So that speaks of more kind of background that suggests that spending can continue at a healthy level.
Okay, so you just saw that for yourself. So if you didn't get the memo, we are all richer than we thought because they revised the income and savings data higher. So I'm telling you, I can't make this stuff up. I'm not that creative. Now, I have to show you this one. So you know how recently the government revised the GDP data? So they said that Q2 of 2024 was better than thought. They revised it upwards. So that means that the economy was stronger than they originally believed. So in this video clip, the interviewer asks if this revision gives a stronger sense of security that we're going to avoid a recession. And Powell says, ultimately, yes.
GDP also was revised upward somewhat. And so when there's strength in the economy like that, does that give you some sort of sense, or more of a sense of security when you're seeing a cooling labor market, that maybe the worst outcomes won't happen if GDP is still that strong?
So the answer is ultimately yes.
Now, I want to show you this one. This one's very important. The Federal Reserve will continue to cut interest rates. So you're going to see interest rates continue to decline. But Powell says that they're going to cut rates more slowly, that they're in no rush. They're not in a hurry to cut rates. He says that they're going to rely on the data, and based on the data, they can cut more slowly or more quickly, whatever is necessary.
But the sense of the committee, this is not a committee that feels like it's in a hurry to cut rates quickly. It's a committee that wants to be guided. Ultimately, we will be guided by the incoming data. And if the economy slows more than we expect, then we can cut faster. If it slows less than we expect, we can cut slower, and that's really what's going to decide it. But I think from a base case standpoint, we're looking at it as a process that will play out over some time, not something that we need to go fast on. It's more, it'll depend on the data, the speed at which we actually go.
Okay, so the next Fed meeting takes place in November. And the big question is, what are they going to do at that meeting? So Powell says, well, they're going to make their decision based on the data. And if you're wondering what data, he says 2 more employment reports and 1 more inflation report.
How are you thinking about the November meeting?
So a couple things. One, we have 2 employment reports and an inflation report coming in. So the main thing will be to look, when we get to that meeting, at the totality of the data, and we'll be looking at the activity data, the unemployment data, and the inflation data, and asking ourselves, is our policy stance in the place where it needs to be for us to best foster achievement of our goals? And I think we'll take everything into account, and we don't have that data yet. So that's the main thing.
Okay, so I had to cut off that scene because Powell continued to speak for about 40 seconds of just pure gibberish. It's just nonsense. Anyways, okay, so he ends up saying that if the economy performs as expected, then the plan is to cut interest rates by another 0.5% this year. So take a look.
If the economy performs as expected, then that would mean 2 more cuts this year, a total of 50 more.
Now, I want to give you my opinion. So first, I want to say this whole situation is a disaster. Well, that's just my opinion. The reason why I'm saying that is, how are you going to make all these decisions based on the data when the data is all cooked? I mean, the books are cooked. Everybody knows that. It's just a debate of how cooked or fried is it. So I'm going to close with this. I'm going to continue to provide you with good information to help you make informed decisions. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I wish you a very nice day. Take care.